There are footballers, and then there is Cristiano Ronaldo, a man who turned pressure into fuel, a man who turned doubt into revenge, a man who spent his entire career fighting one battle after another and winning most of them. But now, the final question is getting louder. What happens at FIFA 2026? Because this does not feel like just another tournament. This feels bigger. This feels heavier. This feels like the last chapter of one of the greatest football stories ever told. And that is exactly why it could be beautiful or brutally painful. For years, Ronaldo has lived as if time does not apply to him. While others faded, he stayed dangerous. While others slowed down, he stayed obsessed. While others looked for comfort, he kept looking for more. More goals, more records, more pressure, more history. That is why Ronaldo is not ordinary. He never has been. But FIFA 2026 is not asking whether he is legendary. Everybody already knows that. It is asking something much harder. Can a legend still survive the final stage of the biggest fight? Because at this point in his career, every match carries emotion. Every goal carries meaning, every mistake carries weight, and every appearance could feel like the beginning of the end. That is the tension. That is the drama. That is why the world will watch. The first problem: time. Time has never beaten Ronaldo easily. He has fought it off for years, but nobody escapes it forever. And that is the scary part. At FIFA 2026, he will not just be fighting defenders. He will be fighting age. He will be fighting recovery. He will be fighting the physical reality that even the greatest body eventually starts asking questions. Can he still explode over the first 5 yards? Can he still dominate in the air? Can he still punish a team with one moment? Can he still deliver when the game is hanging by a thread? Those are not disrespectful questions. They are the questions that come for every legend, and Ronaldo has always responded to questions with greatness. But this time, the questions might be louder than ever, because when a player has been this big for this long, the world does not expect ordinary. The world expects one more miracle, and miracles are hard to repeat. The second problem: the weight of expectation. This is where the story gets emotional. Ronaldo is not just watched, he is measured, he is compared, he is judged by standards that would crush most players before they even step onto the pitch. If he scores, people call it destiny. If he misses, people call it decline. If he wins, it becomes a legacy moment. If he loses, it becomes a farewell conversation. That is the burden of being Cristiano Ronaldo. Every move becomes a headline, every expression becomes a debate, every game becomes a test of reputation. And at FIFA 2026, that pressure will be unbearable, because this will not be just about Portugal. This will be about Ronaldo's final image in the World Cup story. The world loves a final chapter, but only if it ends well. And football does not guarantee happy endings. The third problem: the new generation is coming fast. This may be the hardest truth of all. Football never stops moving. The next generation is always arriving, faster, hungrier, younger, lighter on their feet, less afraid of reputation. And by 2026, Ronaldo will be facing a world full of players who grew up studying him, players who watched his goals, players who copied his movement, players who learned how to survive by trying to become the new him. That is the strange twist of greatness. The more legendary you become, the more the future tries to replace you. And Ronaldo knows this better than anyone. He has spent his whole life fighting against decline. But at some point, the game becomes a race between memory and reality. People remember who you were. The pitch reveals who you are now, and that difference can be cruel. But here is why this story still matters. Because Ronaldo is not the kind of man who walks into a tournament just to participate. He walks in to matter. That has always been his superpower. Even when people doubt him, he becomes dangerous. Even when the odds look bad, he finds a way to stay relevant. Even when the spotlight gets heavy, he steps into it. That is why nobody can ever completely write him off. Not before the whistle, not before the run, not before the header, not before the moment that changes everything. Because legends like Ronaldo do not survive football by accident. They survive because they refuse to stop believing, and that belief has carried him through entire eras. It may carry him again. The final question. So what will FIFA 2026 really be? Will it be the night Ronaldo gives the world one last masterpiece? Will it be the moment he scores again, lifts his head, and reminds everyone why he became a global symbol of greatness? Or will it be the painful exit, the night football finally reminds him that even legends cannot outrun time forever? That is what makes this story so powerful. Not the certainty, the uncertainty. Not the comfort, the danger, not the ending everyone expects, the ending nobody can predict. Cristiano Ronaldo has already given football more than almost anyone thought possible. But the thing about legends is this: they are never remembered only for the trophies. They are remembered for the final fight. And FIFA 2026 could be Ronaldo's final fight. One last chance. One last stage, one last chance to silence doubt, or one last night where football says goodbye. And that is why everybody will be watching. Because when Ronaldo enters a World Cup, it is never just a tournament, it is a story. And this time, the story could become legendary or painfully unforgettable.